When humanity saw 10 billion murdered live, something inside us finally snapped. The footage did not come from a battlefield, nor from a frontier colony. It came from Eden 3, a cradle world suspended in a ring of shimmering atmosphere that children once drew in classrooms with soft blue crayons. The broadcast started as a distress beacon, then shifted into a forced transmission, hijacked by a species that believed humanity would break if it witnessed its own death in real time. The galaxy saw it too. They watched from orbiting palaces, trade hubs, sanctuaries, desert moons, citadels carved into ice. Some looked away. Most did not. The camera drifted over shattered arcologies glowing with internal fires, over plazas where silhouettes no longer moved, over hydro towers split open like bones. A shadow passed across the lens. The invaders did not hide. They wanted to be seen. They declawed every defense grid, silenced every drone, cut through the remaining shelters of Eden 3 with industrial precision. Their message was simple: humanity must surrender all military command authority to the new Dominion, or more worlds would fall. Earth remained silent for 13 minutes. Not because leaders debated. Not because the military hesitated. The silence was something else entirely. Something colder. Something older. Something buried deep in every human culture that had survived extinction events long before the stars were mapped. That stillness spread from bunkers to boardrooms, from orbital platforms to refugee arcs. It spread to the remaining children who stared at their screens without tears because shock had taken their instincts away. It spread into the hearts of soldiers who felt something reorganizing inside them, shifting like tectonic plates of emotion. The response that followed did not begin with a speech. It began with a whisper. One sentence spoken from the war room beneath the Trans-Pacific Defense Plateau. The voice belonged to Admiral Rain Sorrell, a woman known for her calm, not for her fury. She leaned forward, her face half lit by the pale glow of the Eden 3 broadcast. She did not blink. She did not look away. She whispered the words that ignited the operation that would reshape the galaxy. Prepare the retaliation grid. No one asked for clarification. No one questioned protocol. Every officer in the room felt the same fracture inside, the same shift from grief to a razor-edged clarity. Terminals activated with cascading light. Silence cracked, replaced by the synchronized hum of 8 planetary scale systems waking from dormant status. A red seal appeared across every tactical screen. Operation Nemesis Rising. A file that had remained hidden for 42 years behind layered quantum locks. A file that most believed was theoretical. A file built for a scenario that every strategist prayed would never occur. Eden 3 was gone. The galaxy had watched. Now the galaxy would remember. Earth's sky darkened as the retaliation grid drew power from atmospheric funnels and subterranean reactors. The clouds spiraled above command spires, glowing with amber fractures as energy climbed through the upper layers. Cities dimmed. Farmland blackened for several seconds as grids rerouted power. Oceans vibrated, their surfaces rippling under bursts of electromagnetic acceleration. On the horizon, defense bastions rose from the sea, their colossal frameworks lifting through water like ancient leviathans dragging themselves into daylight after centuries of sleep. The first ships launched without roar or flame. They rose silently, propelled by gravity engines that shimmered in spirals of blue-white distortion. A fleet unlike anything the galaxy had catalogued lifted into the stratosphere. They were not battleships. They were not cruisers. They were machines forged from a doctrine Earth never revealed to its allies. They were vessels designed to execute a single retaliatory directive with absolute precision. At the heart of the fleet stood the flagship, the Armistice Breaker. A ship shaped like an elongated spear, plated in overlapping alloys that looked almost organic, as if grown rather than built. Its hull carried no insignia, only a single mark etched along the central ridge, a broken circle, symbolizing the promise that humanity would never again allow an entire world to die unanswered. Commander Lysander Hale stood inside the command spire of the Armistice Breaker, his hands behind his back. He did not wear ceremonial armor. He did not wear medals. His uniform was dark, simple, and lined with reinforced fiber. His face was worn from too many silent battles, too many decisions that tore pieces from his conscience. He had lost people on Eden 3. Family. The footage still played in the corner of his mind, uninvited but unforgettable. Yet his voice remained controlled. "Fleet is locked in formation," the navigation officer said, her voice trembling despite her attempt to mask it. "Confirm targeting pathways," Hale replied. "Pathways confirmed. Retaliation vectors aligned." Hale stared at the tactical display. The Dominion's broadcast hub floated near a red dwarf star, a spiked fortress wrapped in rotating shield petals. The galaxy considered it impenetrable. Hale considered it a coordinate. The bridge lights dimmed as the fleet's energy output spiked. Hale felt the vibration through the soles of his boots. It was not fear. It was something colder. Collective resolve. A junior officer swallowed hard. "Sir, if we launch, every major power will react. Some may intervene. Some may retaliate." Hale turned slightly. "Every major power watched 10 billion die. If they wish to intervene now, they may. Earth has decided." The officer lowered his gaze. "Yes, sir." A pulse of white light surged along the walls as the retaliation grid synchronized with the fleet. Hale lifted his chin slightly. "Transmit the message?" A comms officer tapped a sequence. A tone spread across the bridge, low and resonant. Then Hale spoke, his words carried through encrypted channels to every listening station across human space. "Earth has absorbed the cost. Now the galaxy will witness the consequence." The fleet surged forward, engines warping space in their wake. Stars elongated into streaks of silver. Hale felt the shift in gravity as the Armistice Breaker entered transluminal velocity. The Dominion would sense the fleet, but timing no longer mattered. They had declared extermination. Earth declared reprisal. When the fleet dropped back into real space, the Dominion hub loomed ahead, a monstrous structure encircled by gun platforms and scanning arrays. Hale exhaled once. "Begin the operation." Hundreds of retaliatory lances erupted from the fleet, carving radiant trails through vacuum as they converged on the hub. The Dominion reacted instantly. Shield petals snapped open, forming a spinning sphere of refracted energy. But the retaliation grid was not designed to overpower shields. It was designed to rewrite them. The first lance struck. It did not explode. It dissolved into shimmering particles that adhered to the shield. Golden filaments crawled across the surface. The hub's scanners flickered. Systems glitched. A second lance struck. Then a third. The shield sphere began to pulse erratically, color shifting from blue to orange. The hub's operators scrambled across their control decks. "Unidentified energy pattern. Shield integrity destabilizing." Hale clasped his hands behind his back. "Proceed." Lances 5 through 15 impacted in synchronized sequence. The shield sphere imploded with a soundless burst of white light. The operation had officially begun. The instant the Dominion shield sphere collapsed, its massive broadcast spire flickered. The same spire that had delivered the genocide of Eden 3 to every corner of the galaxy. Now it sputtered, exposed, trembling under the weight of its own arrogance. Hale stepped closer to the tactical ring. His voice remained low, steady, and emotionless. "Target the spire's core anchor," he said. "Coordinates locked," replied the weapons officer. "Fire." A beam of concentrated light erupted from the Armistice Breaker, threading between fractured shield fragments and slicing through the spire's foundation. The structure buckled. Metal groaned as if it were alive and begging for mercy. Flame bled through its lower tiers. Then the spire tore free from its root and drifted into open space like a severed limb. Across the hub, Dominion soldiers scrambled through corridors. Sirens wailed. Pressure valves blew. Thick smoke spilled through the internal segments. Hale watched it all in silence. He did not celebrate. He did not even blink. "Begin Phase 2, Hale said. The retaliation grid deployed its second directive. From the fleet's lower decks, sphere-shaped drones as large as small shuttles detached and drifted toward the hub. Their surfaces glowed with shifting geometric patterns. They were not weapons. They were evidence collectors, coded to record every Dominion action, every command chain, every transmission linking the genocide order to its origin. Humanity would eliminate the Spire, but it would not allow the Dominion to erase their own guilt. As the drones entered the ruined hub, Hale spoke again. Activate blackout. The Armistice Breaker emitted a pulse that crawled across the battlefield like a dark tide. Every external Dominion transmission severed. The hub was cut from the galaxy. No distress calls. No cries for support. No final warnings. Silence became their prison. A lieutenant whispered from her station. Sir, the Dominion flagship is approaching from the opposite vector. Their escorts are maneuvering into a surrounding pattern. Display them. The holomap rotated, painting the image of a jagged black warship with curved blade wings. Hale recognized the class. A Requiem carrier, engineered to incinerate entire orbital lines. Its escorts flared in tight formation, weapons heating. They believe they can overwhelm us by force, the tactical officer said. Hale's expression did not change. They do not understand the retaliation grid. The Dominion flagship transmitted an audio burst. A voice thundered across the bridge, deep and metallic. Human fleet, surrender your retaliatory systems or be annihilated. You have committed treason against the new order. The officers looked to Hale. Hale simply replied, Open the channel. The comms officer tapped a sequence. A soft chime sounded. This is Commander Lysander Hale, he said. Earth does not surrender. Earth responds. He cut the channel before the Dominion could answer. Sir, navigation said. The Dominion fleet is powering their primary launch bays. They intend to deploy mass detonation warheads. Understood, Hale said. Activate ARC protocol. A tremor passed through the Armistice Breaker as panels along its spine unfolded. Thin metallic wings expanded outward, humming with quantum distortion. Space began to warp around the flagship, curving like pulled fabric. The retaliation grid synchronized with the formation's other ships. Light bent around them, creating a distortion bubble that glowed faintly red at the edges. The Dominion flagship released its warheads, 12 black spheres streaking toward the fleet like predatory stars. Hold, Hale said. The officers clenched their fists. The warheads closed the distance. Hold, Hale repeated. The distortion bubble crackled. Space rippled, pressure mounting. Redirect. The bubble convulsed, twisting space in a violent inward jerk. The warhead struck the distortion field, vanished for half a heartbeat, then reappeared behind the Dominion fleet, their trajectories completely reversed. On board the Dominion flagship, alarms shrieked. The Dominion commander roared orders. But it was too late. 12 detonations erupted behind them in a blinding cascade of expanding fire. The flagship convulsed as shockwaves tore through its flanks. Sections of its hull detached and spiraled into the void. A chorus of gasps spread across the Armistice Breaker bridge. Hale raised his hand. Focus. Continue. On the holomap, the flagship staggered, trying to recover. Sir, the weapons officer said, their jump drives are destabilizing. They are attempting escape. Hale did not hesitate. Target their engine throat. Fire. The Armistice Breaker unleashed a focused pulse that struck the flagship directly under its spine. A plume of molten metal sprayed into space. The flagship's jump core overloaded, blossoming into a silent inferno. The blast ripped the ship into fragments that drifted like burning ash across the stars. The bridge fell quiet. Flagship destroyed, the tactical officer said softly. Hale nodded once. Proceed to Phase 3. Inside the ruined hub, the evidence-collecting drones transmitted their findings to the Armistice Breaker. Images displayed across the bridge, Dominion officers celebrating as Eden 3 died. A general signing the extermination order. A council of Dominion nobles approving the broadcast for demoralization purposes. Humanity finally had irrefutable proof. But Hale was not finished. What remains of their fleet? He asked. 17 escorts. 3 destroyer-class vessels. 1 heavy monitor. And our formation? Undamaged. Hale's eyes narrowed. Disable every remaining ship. We will show the galaxy the cost of genocide. The retaliation grid deployed its disabling sequence. Waves of shimmering energy cascaded from the fleet. Dominion ships convulsed as their drives shut down, their weapons disarmed in bursts of harmless sparks. One by one, the Dominion escorts went dark, drifting without power. As the last destroyer fell silent, a junior officer whispered, "They are defenseless, sir." "Correct," Hale replied. "Transmit final message." The comms officer opened the channel. Hale spoke with the clarity of a man who had buried too many worlds. "Dominion forces, you executed 10 billion civilians. Earth has taken your spire, destroyed your flagship, shattered your fleet, and exposed your leaders. You will surrender immediately. You will face judgment for your crimes. You will not negotiate. You will not hide. This is not revenge. This is consequence." He closed the channel. The Dominion ships powered down their remaining lights, signaling surrender. Hale exhaled slowly. It was not relief. It was not victory. It was acceptance. Justice did not bring back the dead. It only carved space for the living. The Armistice Breaker's sensors vibrated as a signal arrived from Earth Command. Admiral Sorrell's voice filled the bridge. "Commander Hale. The galaxy is watching. The Council demands an explanation for your actions." Hale responded. "Send them the footage. All of it." The drones transmitted their recordings across every major network. Billions watched the Dominion celebrate the genocide. Billions watched the retaliation. Billions watched as the truth unfolded across the stars. Silence followed. Then worlds began severing their ties with the Dominion. Trade halted. Treaties dissolved. Neutral powers mobilized. Earth had not merely struck back. Earth had realigned the galaxy. Hale stood at the center of the bridge. The officers around him remained still, waiting for his next command. "Sir," navigation said quietly. "What now?" Hale looked at the drifting Dominion hub, its broken spire still glowing with internal fire. "Now," he said, "we rebuild." He turned away from the tactical ring and walked toward the viewport, the stars reflecting like distant memories across the glass. Behind him, the fleet began its slow rotation, forming a silent guardian line around the shattered hub. The retaliation was complete. The lesson was eternal.